Hi, welcome one and all. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have been putting these VODs up on YouTube. So if you've been watching them on YouTube, they've actually done pretty well on the YouTube channel, about as well as average. Which, my videos only get a couple dozen views in general, but that's fine for me. Yeah, we are here once again with some more Rhineland. It's been about a week, I think, since the last one. Yes, Rhineland. Into Germany, hopefully sooner and later. We'll see about that. We already abolished the empire, so that's good. And yeah, I'm glad you're doing good as well, Wallrider. We have Wallrider in the chat, and other people will probably show up as we get going here. We have perma-claims on a lot of stuff still. We're still allied with Austria. We're still allied with Poland. I'm remembering. We are a monarchy. We've never gotten any personal unions. I can't remember the last time I got like a major personal union in this game. I did not see the new Germany dev diary. No, so I don't think I mentioned this a while, but like I don't really keep up with the dev diaries that much. It's not because I don't believe they're good and interesting to look at to see what's coming. I'm like whatever. I'd rather just wait till the game comes out, or the expansion in this case comes out, But I know that's not. I don't think that's the only way to approach it. But yeah, we're gonna get going live here. I don't remember what was going on. It's been about over a week since the last stream. Not sure exactly. Where am I? Like a truce map mode? Truce. We have truces with Alsace, Hanover, Bohemia. That's Hanover. Italy and Germany share a tree but have different unique parts. Okay. That's similar to what a couple ones already have currently. Like I think Castile and Spain have that, where it's like Castile is very similar, but then Spain adds more if you form Spain with them. East Frisia is my vassal, right? Yeah, they are. I remember that. Was I eating them yet? Because it's probably about time for that. We could feed them Bremen. We might as well feed them Bremen. Although, we have a perma-claim, so... Do we have influence ideas? I think we do, right? No. So it's actually probably overall more cost-efficient if we take it for ourselves. Let's go and mess with stuff. So I don't even remember what the deal is with these mods. I know that, obviously, I do remember the fact that it's like, in the end, it doesn't change too much. It just expands upon the base concepts of the game. So, I'm not really too worried about it. And mainly, I think the main thing that it adds is just adding more variety of nations and goals and stuff, which we haven't really gotten super far down our mission tree. Well, this one, yes, but the rest of them... Trier and Koblenz. Trier and Koblenz. Honestly, well, it's 1626. When do we get access to university? We have access to university. We should honestly build universities, well, a lot of places, but especially if we have these missions... We have money, right? We don't need to really spend money right now. In fact, we have so much that I think we might as well just do this now. We also have... we have really good income. So yeah. We should look at our missions a little more in depth, right? So we have these two places that we need to develop. This one, Enlightenment, that's what we're rating on there. The coal, so that's reliant on coal. Base production in Westfalen or Westfalen, not sure. So Westfalen could also use it, and I think that's the only other Westfalen we need base production up. This is Westfalen, right? Yes, base production needs to be 10. These ones we just need to develop, and we can do that once the universities are done. Just to do it, knock it out now. If we cap on military, we'll do it then as well. But obviously, preferably, we'd wait. Errors is going to car. Cool. So I do know we have a lot of aggressive expansion, but mostly just with the people next to us. However, I do think we should still probably just wait for a bit. We've been expanding Milan a good bit, and they are quite, I would say, quite formidable, honestly. Like, this is a pretty strong perma march, right? We fed them Venice, even. We took diplomatic, right? That's what we're working on right now. So we could eventually make them not a march and annex them. And if we like conquer all of Germany, sure, I might do that. But for now, I think this is fine. Like they're quite powerful. For now, we're basically, I think we want to feed them everything up to these two states. So not including Central Italy and Lazio Campania. So we want to feed them Tuscany and Emilia-Romagna. Maybe the islands, we'll see. The rest of this one province here. I believe at some point we were planning on backstabbing Austria. Mission tree for Germany, HRE, and Lubeck to form the Hanseatic League. Okay, that's cool. That does sound cool. I'm looking forward to the next expansion quite a bit, don't get me wrong. Okay, we're making a lot of money here, which is very nice. Always nice. Wait, oh, we were already one over. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Local trade power is not really that good here. It's better than... There we go. Hello, Uremstep. Oh god, I don't know how to... Uremst? I don't know. Uremest? I'm sorry. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. But welcome to the stream. It is a... We are using here. There's a command for it. I think it'll work. Yeah. Missions expanded. National ideas expanded. Development expanded. Governments expanded. Subjects expanded. Idea groups expanded. Trade goods expanded. Yeah. It's... Irem Siltapl... Is... Oh gosh. What is that language? Is that... Oh gosh, I apologize. Is that like... Is that French? Because I have like... I have no idea what that... It's French. Okay, I was gonna say. So so I'll try to pronounce it French, right? Irem s'il te plaît? S'il te plaît? Irem s'il te plaît? I don't know, something like that. I hope I pronounced that somewhat correctly. I don't speak hardly any French. Yeah, the thing that made me think it was French was the play at the end, because I know like s'il vous plaît means like please, right? Or that's one way to say like. That's a different way to say please. S'il vous plaît, and then so this irem s'il te plaît. Is it tu? I could never pronounce the T's and or the tu in French correctly. Anyways, yeah, I know several people who speak French because I work in the Department of Romance Languages at the university that I'm studying at, and I speak Spanish, a bit of Italian, a bit of Catalan, right? So I know Romance languages, but I don't know hardly any French, very minor amount. Yeah, and so vous is formal and tu is informal. That makes sense actually. Because yeah, Spanish used to have a similar thing and still does in some countries in Latin America, although in Spain they don't use vos anymore, but vos is the equivalent of vous. And let's see, I think Catalan also has that. I think, but it's I think it's us. I don't remember. But yeah, let's see. What do we want to do with our merchant? Did I move my capital to? I did. I moved my whole capital to Amsterdam, which is. Yeah, good mainly to stop the Dutch rebellions, but it's also fine. It's going to move again when we form Germany, I think, or maybe it doesn't. But let's see. I think Saxony is a better one to put our merchant into. Yeah, and if it's okay, I'll call you Irem for short, even though I know that probably doesn't make any sense actually on its own. But yeah, like I know that honest Mamluks. How are the Mamluks still alive? They're still actually kind of strong, even. So I'm a student of Spanish linguistics and stuff, and it's always interesting to me. English is one of the few European languages that doesn't have gender. There are some words in English that are Irem is your name, so it's like Irem if you would please, or like Irem please is like that's kind of like the nickname. Okay, cool. I actually like that name a lot, but sounds good then. Yeah, English is one of the few European languages that doesn't. There are others. I'm not familiar enough with which, but I know that English is one of the few European languages that doesn't have grammatical gender. English has what's it called? What do I say? English has like lexical gender. In other words, like there's words in English that are gendered. For instance, wow, Bavaria, wow. For instance, we have so many freaking diplomats. I'll probably not colonize Walrider, but I'll conquer colonies, definitely. Especially if we get to war with Britain, which I do plan on doing probably at some point. Because that would be good to push it at English Channel for us. There are words in English that have gender, but it's not a grammatical function as much as a feature of some lexical items, some words, right? Some nouns. For instance, oh gosh, well, I'm trying to think of one now. Aviator, which is such a niche word. Aviator and aviatrix. Yeah, exactly. But it's not like in French or other Romance languages where, like in Spanish, you have there's a difference between like el barco and la barca, for example. Yeah, with the example of a ship. Yeah, Spanish actually has el barco and la barca, both as separate words, but they mean different things, and they have different genders. And so it's different, obviously. Bavarian, Switzerland. Yeah, in English we don't have that. It's only just, there's holdovers with words like aviator versus aviatrix, or I can't think of any other ones. Actor or an actress, right? But those are obviously not. It's not like adjectives change gender to match. So, Franconia. I mean, I'd really like to just finish our missions that we already have, though, because that would be easier. Man, the freaking aggressive expansion is brutal. I actually think we shouldn't go to war, even though it's like we maybe have some. Maybe have some options here. We could do stuff maybe in Africa, yeah. Doing wars overseas, I think, is good, because that's not going to be any aggressive expansion. The problem is we don't really have a CB that will work for that. We have to get tour with them in other ways, right? So, yeah, money in Africa. Like, if we go to war with Spain, that would be good. We can take a bunch of coastline. It's not really viable right now. We don't border Britain at all either, unfortunately. But they are allied with Bavaria. So if we go to war with Bavaria, maybe we could take something there. Once we get one province, then the world is our oyster. Yeah, so this next war with Prague is something we want to do. Against Bohemia for Prague is something we want to do as well. That's actually both of those. That's enough there. Franconia might be just good to just not... Well, but they're also guaranteed. A lot of annoying alliances here. Oh yeah, we could buy ports. You're right. I always forget that that's an option. Also, the Knights. Is their capital? Their capital is here. Of course it is. The Knights have moved to West Africa. That's hilarious. You're right, though. Here, could we? Doesn't seem like we can do it. I think it's not in range. We can do it from you, though. So, I mean... let's not get one that has rebels already. So expensive. The Knights, so the Knights would give us this one, but it has rebels in it. So I'm gonna wait on that a second. Yeah, we don't have the trade range to reach otherwise. And this doesn't give us trade range. We finished our, what's it called? Our universities here, right? Yes, good. So let's go ahead and, we have freaking prosperity too. That's great. It's gonna be so cheap. I always forget because everything is such high development here that I need to like I don't know, I'm very bad at remembering. Saxony is one, I think. There we go. Let's wait a month. And what was I gonna say? Now we can go in here. Look at the cost. Watch this. 19 to develop Trier. 26 to develop it, and it's already 18 development. That's kind of insane, right? If anything, it might be good to wait till the next tech, till manufactories, but we already have a lot of manufactories, and we are ahead and going to cap on power soon. So I think it's better just to do it now. So it's, what do we need to get them to? 24, I believe? Let's see. Trier, development at least 24, Koblenz at least 24. So the problem is, we are going to have the problem where we're going to get capped, right? Because right now, tell you what, I can... So if we go up to 10, 4, we can go up to 10. So we, okay, so we can do this. 1, 2, 3. And that should be able to go up to 24 now. I guess I could have done it differently anyways, yeah. And then here, 18 means that we could go 6 plus 5. It's 11, which means we need one more in one of these. Here, I'll just do a toss that there, and then we can go 1, 2. There we go. Oh, I guess I didn't. I think you do because it would have been unbalanced. Okay, whatever. I think it's good. Yeah, and we got this mission. We get iron to be produced. I don't even know if that's actually good, but I'm assuming it is. What do we have here now? Grain and potatoes. Trade value 4.32. 2.3, 6.73, 4. Yeah, that was a big jump up. That was a big jump up. We should, since we're earning money now, we should build more manufactories, if anything. These are all real good. Unless it gets like below 0.4, it's pretty much going to be worth it, in my opinion. We should build a couple of these. Might as well. Then we should build more universities, honestly, because it will affect our, you know, it does affect our institution growing once we get to the Enlightenment. So yeah. I'm gonna ignore the wars of religion in France. Admin tech is 18 in all the techs. But yeah, we're getting a lot of money right now. Very happy about that. And once we get East Friesland integrated and have a bigger navy, it'll get even better. 2 techs in Germany time. You're right, but we don't have the provinces either. That is something we should think about, though. We're actually not too far off. Basically, so we need 1 from Franconia. We need 2 from Bavaria. And 2 from Pomerania. Not that bad. I think we should backstab Austria sooner rather than later. But gosh darn it, Poland. Why do you gotta guarantee everyone? It's so annoying. I need this province from Austria, basically. Well, they're allied to Switzerland. What I think we maybe do is we just attack Switzerland. It's not too hard of a war. It would break our alliance with Austria and Naples. But that's honestly probably not too bad. Milan has some permaclaims too. I think we wait for this because we might have an issue with coalitions if we all of a sudden lose 2 of our 5 allies. We have 5 allies, don't we? Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, I would like to do it before, because if we do, it gives us permanent claims, yes, on Bavaria, which is going to make. Actually, we just need to get Franconia for that. Hold on. Maybe you're right. I really just don't want to have to eat all of southern, like the Bavaria area. This area is going to be very expensive, and so if we get permaclaims here now, we can do it easier, right? Basically, I'm thinking we get the permaclaims here. Like, we get permaclaims on. I'm not going to finish our whole mission tree before we finish Germany, obviously, but I want to try to get the permaclaims that are going to reduce our aggressive expansion. For instance, Upper Rhineland area, which is here. Like, if we can do this mission, it gives us claims on... No, it doesn't give us claims. If we can do this, it will give us claims on all of the stuff up here that we need, right? We also need to backstab Denmark at some point. That's obviously also going to be a little difficult. But, you know, we're starting to get pretty powerful. I mean, we're already the 6th great power, and we don't own that much land. We're very tall, you know. We're very tall right now. So we should definitely just eat Franconia, I believe. Bavaria and Switzerland, that's fine. So it will bring in Bavaria. Problem is just the aggressive expansion. I don't even care about all the people around us. That does not matter to me at all. It's more France and Britain and others that I care about. We're not strong enough yet to fight off all of the people surrounding what used to be the HRE. Like, I would say we're fine fighting everyone in the HRE probably, but everyone beyond that too? I'm not so sure about that. Okay. Our focus Diplo. Might as well take this. Okay. Here's a question. Do we have a... I feel like there used to be more easier ways to get relations over time, which is different than improved relations. And relations over time is better because it affects your passive cooldown or like fading of aggressive expansion. And I don't know if there still is an advisor for that. I think there is, but I don't really ever hire them. But in this case, they would actually be fairly useful. Let's build more of these bad boys. Naples has no heir. Of course, the Deavis dynasty. Isn't that the one that is in... Yeah, they're in France. Aren't they in Poland too? Or they... Yeah, they are. Oh, Lord. Yo, you're just looking at it. It was saying, oh, a Deavis would come in. But look at this. Von Hessen with a strong claim 455. Hell yeah, boys. Von Hessen in Naples. I mean, the 455 part is not really, doesn't care. We don't care about that. That's good for them, sure, but like, heck yeah. So, that's good. Hello, Major Band Geek. Welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Long time no see. Actually, I think you've been here fairly recently. Welcome back. Okay, unfortunately lost our trading network there. Oh, I wish we had that air too. I mean, what is our air? 224. Eh. He's not bad, but I'm gonna get rid of him. You could say that was maybe somewhat impulsive just to do it that quickly, but I say no. You've been lurking a bit. Okay, yeah. But I know you've been here before. I recognize your name, so. Watching the Vods, yeah, sounds good. If anything, that actually is. I mean, that's. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's better than chat interaction because both are good, like equally good. But I've there has been a lot of support on the Vods, and so thank you for you know being part of that support. It's really incentivized me to stream and upload the VODs more, because I know sometimes not everyone likes it, and I actually understand that entirely. But you know, for me it's easier to stream, especially for harder achievements that I like to do as well. So yeah, the YouTube VOD, that's what I mean. Yeah, because that's where it's I can really see the metrics easier. I know that some people do watch the Twitch VODs. Like a couple people I know have told me like they've watched Twitch VODs. But I'm like, Twitch's interface is just not as good for that. Reduced morale damage taken by reserves. Okay, I've never had this much professionalism, and having 80, that seems like really good, because that basically means if you have over the combat width, which doesn't happen too often, but it does happen in really big battles. In really big battles, you would basically not be taking nearly as much damage. Huh. And yeah, the Hessen monarchy is what caused that. I'm glad to hear that, Major Band Geek. I do the same thing with other creators that I watch, actually, where I'll find like an 8-hour stream that they did 2 years ago, and then just put it on while I'm doing essays. Not necessarily essays either, but just you know, whatever. I like to have background noise, and so I get that. The enlightened Hessen monarchy. Let's see. We could. Oh my god, we could actually get that soon. Like, we could get it now if we had absolutism. I don't, but you know. It doesn't tell us. But also, isn't it going to change when we form Germany anyways? It doesn't say so. It doesn't say it would change our... It does not say it would change our thing. Our government type. So maybe we should try to get our... oh, it's in government reforms. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I thought it was. I definitely saw it here before. It is a tier 1, isn't it? Or is it like a higher tier? Which, by the way, we have a lot more tiers. There's a couple more tiers now. Hold on. Let's go look. It's a tier 1. It doesn't say, but I know I saw it there before. Yeah, I remember seeing it here as a grayed out option. Maybe it's because we're not Hesse anymore. Because we saw it at the start of the game. Could be because we're not Hesse. I'm sure it's better. Especially because you had to pay so much to get it, so... yeah. Somewhat strange, though. How do we... So we can increase our legitimacy to do that, but it only gains 2. Like, That's the thing, yeah. We don't have a lot of absolutism. So we could try to get absolutism up, but what's the easiest way to do that? Decreasing autonomy, sure. Harsh treatment, increased stability. It's expensive. We don't have any rebels, really. The problem is, yeah, until we conquer more land and then are able to lower autonomy and other stuff, right? It's not really going to be... not really going to be an option. I mean, we could do it here, you know? I suppose we might as well. It's actually, if we're not doing wars, we're over our manpower cap anyways, so probably actually a good idea in general. Might as well do that. We could also, let's do it again. We have an extra military power, so why can't we do it some other places? So we lowered some autonomy here. Why can't we do it like? It's because it's state controlled, and so it's already floored. It's like we just have so much already, or it's already so low. If we conquer more land, we'll do it. I guarantee it. I wish you got absolutism for converting cultures, right? Because that seems like something that would make sense. Because the idea was, you know, like lots of times, Pete, that was the idea is, if you have a centralized country, you have a centralized language and culture. So it's kind of, so Pomeranian has shrunk, I think. I think Rhenish is growing bigger, probably, but it makes sense if you can culture convert, but anyways, not a big deal. Truce with Alsace. Definitely use the military as a workforce. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't get claims here on everything that they have, but I can get claims on a few. We have espionage ideas, so we'll go quicker. Austria's looking kind of historical. Yeah. We just got into the age of absolutism, so... And we don't have a golden era yet. Potential for a large army we could probably do. But... unfortunately, we screwed ourselves out of getting this one. So we probably would have won, but the problem is that we got rid of the empire completely. We have cultures to promote, kind of, but like 3 trade companies actually might be possible. Potential for a large army we will probably get, at least by the end of this age. And these ones that we have extra building slots, we might as well do it. I think we're gonna actually try to come here and maybe buy. Again, our trade... Oh, here, now we can maybe do it and not be screwed immediately. We need money. Let's do like a transport fleet. I like having my transport fleets. Yes, Philippe's. I like having my transport fleets with some, you know, some bodyguards. Transport fleet, like they're supposed to, you know, I like having them also be somewhat combat focused. Okay, what is happening here? Polish conquest of Prague. Okay, but you can't actually eat Prague, though. So... But who are you fighting? You're fighting Alsace and Bavaria. Well then. This is good, because it means that we probably aren't going to be messed with here. I don't know. I'd actually like to do this Hanover War probably first before anything else. Honestly, we might just not go to war for a while, even though we can with like Franconia. I think we can just not worry about it. I think we'll just wait a little while so that we know we won't have any issues with Great Britain, France, Naples, right? If the people in Germany care, whatever, I don't care. But ones outside of Germany, I do somewhat worry. Not even worry, but just, you know, I do care. We're actually going to do this, by the way. I'm going to drill my armies. I don't normally drill my armies. Oh my god, we have such good generals. Oh, let's go. What is our army tradition at, anyways? 80. And it doesn't... I think 80 is actually what it kind of hovers at. We are basically... You know, I like this... I like playing as the Rhineland, because we're basically... Whereas Prussia is just militarized, you know? We have pretty strong military. Maybe not on that same level as Prussia, right? But we have a lot... We are definitely very militarized. Like, I think I'm saying I like the Hessian militarized monarchy, because even though we're militarized, we are also, and we have huge bonuses to like manpower and stuff, we are also very economized and industrial, and I kind of like that mix, right? We literally are like the definition of like the military-industrial complex. it's yeah. Zapadoslavia. See, I've never. I mean, I know a little bit about like that concept in like history, but like. So is that something that... I know that's not a thing in the base game. How does that work in this? What do you have to own to form it? Let's honestly just try to finish this if we can. Shit, they're at war, so that... Oh, we're so close. If we have a little more money, we can just buy this from Fulo, and that'd be kind of nice, actually, because, like, I don't know. The Union of all Western Slavs, okay. Oh, God. Ouch. Okay. Let's see. Also, can we get above, who are we rival to? Great Britain, Portugal. And who's the other one? Spain? Great Britain, Portugal, Spain. Okay, wow. We hate all of the colonizers? The colonizers, apparently. Yeah, we can do this. There we go. May as well put someone back on those subject countries. Alright, let's see. Okay, that's, don't want to do that actually. I'll get inflation, that's actually fine. We can definitely pay that down. That is cool, alright. No, that sounds like that would seem like it would be a fun one to do. Tuscany conquered land. Rip. That's really good. It's expensive, but it's really good. Innovativeness? Yeah. Heck yeah, bud. Let's just, so, we were making so much money, we probably should just do this, because there's no reason, like, not to. Could I charter from anyone? I don't have money now. Duh. Okay, well. It's fine. Okay. Any more stuff that we could lower? Why can't we lower it here? It was recently increased. Why did I do that? Probably because I mean, I just recently decided I wanted to do this, so that's fine. Oh, I see. That's their plan. You bastards. They decided they just took stuff from Bavaria. Yeah. They took stuff from Bavaria. It makes sense. I forgot that Bavaria was in the war too, obviously. So normally I would go administrative efficiency first, but we should do yearly absolutism up. Which I think is just so underwhelming. That's only 1 a year, but still, it's better than not. Better than nothing. Okay. Edicts, turn that off. Alright. They're probably going to form that if that's something they can form. I'm assuming, yeah, they just need, like, Prague and something in, like, Eastern Moravia or whatever it's called. Let's see. I don't actually care about Austria's opinion of me at this point. They only Prague. Okay. Allied with Switzerland, Naples, and Rhineland. Switzerland, Naples. Really hoping we can just. Well, yeah. We should also. I think we should. No. See, this is a problem, though. I'm gonna have to disinherit this heir because we have De Avis in our. Well, De Avis isn't French, is it? I don't think it is. Like, it is now, but like, isn't it? What's it? No, what does it start as? Because now hold on, dynastic. Where's dynastic? I thought it was. I thought it's Portuguese, isn't it? At the start of the game, then Portugal starts with De Avis, don't they? But now it's like Portugal, Spain, France, and Poland. They're Portuguese, yeah. So I mean, this guy is French, but he's not because it's from our alliance with our marriage with France, but they're Portuguese. It's okay. It's okay. We'll just do that. But you are right that I shouldn't have done it because that was a risk. And afterwards, I realized that once I saw the Portugal thing, I was like, "Oh shit!" We didn't know at the time either that we were gonna have not the Portugal thing, the Naples thing. Hello, Copperhead. Welcome back to the stream. How you doing, bud? It's a French dynasty that technically became Portuguese and now is spread back to French. That's funny. Okay, I didn't know it was French. Okay, this is better, and this one is not. See, this is why sometimes you take the risk, because now we have a 654 of our dynasty. Hell yeah! Now that's what I'm talking about. 645. I mean, we had to pay 100 prestige to get him, but whatever, dude. We're getting like. Oh, actually, not that much, but we get a lot from war and other things, so. Turned out alright in the end. Wait. Why are you no longer a valid rival? Did you eclipse me? Or did I eclipse you? We are like exactly the same. Why? That makes me worried. Like maybe they're about to get inherited. No, but that would not work like that. No. Ooh, but also, oh god, they're only 60. Got an AP test tomorrow. Oh gosh, yeah, dude. I good luck with that, Copper. Good luck with that, dude. I didn't take AP history in high school. I took 4 other AP classes. Didn't take AP history, even though history was like one of my favorite subjects in high school and college. I should have. There's literally no reason I shouldn't have. It would have just been free credits. But to be fair, I actually really enjoyed the college level equivalent European history course that I took. It was Western civilization, not just European history, but you know, it started with like Mesopotamia and Egypt, and then focused on European history. I took 2 courses of that actually, and then I took a separate medieval history course. That was like a 400 level history course, and I'm not even a history major, or I wasn't even, because that's how much I loved it. But yeah. Yeah, European history is great. I always try to temper my own interests though, because I really love European history, and that's my focus. It has always been that whenever I'm learning about history. But I always like and so I have friends in my department, a couple of friends who they're always like, "How do you know so much shit about like Spanish history and Catalan history and stuff like this, and Italian history?" Because those are the things I know the most about, and I always tell, like, they always like say that, and I'm like I don't think it's like, I always tell them, like, I have a friend, one of these friends who says this. She's always like she always basically is like, I'm impressed by how much you know about European history, and I'm like, well, at the same time, you like speak some Quechua and like know more about Latin American history, like, and she like, you know, has lived, like, she did volunteer work in Bolivia for like a year, and I'm like, you probably know much more than I ever will about Bolivia and Quechua language and stuff. And I'm like, there's not any reason one is more, like, by default more prestigious than the other. Certainly Europe has a lot of prestige in it, or along with it, but there's nothing implicitly that makes European history more interesting or more complex or anything than, for instance, the history of the Incan Empire or Bolivia or modern Peru, right? And I, you know, clergy, give me this. So yeah, and so I try to temper my own, even though I love European history, and I'm certainly not saying that you shouldn't, and I certainly don't feel like guilt, but at the same time, I'm like, there's I don't think that it should, I don't try to glorify it and say that it's better than learning about, you know, the history of the Far East or the Middle East or South America, you know. So I almost always hate this one, standardized uniforms, but I actually think that in this case, as this country, it's probably a good thing, right? It's probably a good thing to do standardized uniforms, because the army drill, like, I have been drilling. Yeah, I mean, so I know it's not really worth it probably, but I you know, I guess the thing is you can't turn it off again. So it's like, if I ever stop drilling my armies like I have been, it's, yeah, I never take it, but maybe, just maybe, since we're playing as a country that already gets like yearly professionalism, well, in that case, actually, probably that's a good reason why we shouldn't, because we already have so much. So, yeah. See, I don't know much about Asian history, but I do like the little I know. And also, welcome Luxfera to the stream. Your name also sounds familiar. I believe you were here, Lux, weren't you? Yeah, and we do have a lot of money, but I think we're going to be building more armies, so I'm not going to take it this time either. Yeah, Poland took Bohemia. Oh. Okay. Unfortunately, that doesn't increase our trade range, so it's not like we can't jump down here, I don't think. Well, one of you guys, please, just give me a province. Okay, well, we need to get more money. But yeah, Luke's fair. I definitely agree that, you know, I like the... I think part of the reason European history is a lot more popular. Well, in the Western world, right? Obviously, like if you grow up in Japan or China or Korea, you're probably gonna know a lot more about Eastern history, right? East Asian history, but obviously, in the Western world, I think European history is the focus. Partially just because we have, partially because again, it's the just kind of the default position already, and so there's somewhat of some inertia and momentum. But we do have more written records as well. That's the other thing, right? We have more written records of European history than we do for, say, like the Cherokee or the Incans. So, which is a shame, obviously. It would be nice if we had more records from them. I'm not trying to say like I don't, I'm not making any judgments about those civilizations, because it's not really it doesn't say anything about those cultures, because they obviously had complex myth and government systems, and the Incans freaking built roads, the Incans built roads that were thousands of miles long through some of the harshest mountains on the planet, right? That's fucking intense. But we don't have a lot of written records. And I think that's definitely part of it, is that there hasn't been as much academic study of written records. Obviously, there's archaeological studies, anthropological studies, but there's not as many other things we can do. Thank you for the follow, Lux Farah. You're Norwegian, so you basically did jack shit after the Vikings. I don't know. I mean, Norway. Norway's they've had some other stuff. I'm trying to think. You guys have Norway's cool history too. And that's the thing though, is even small countries like Norway, and Norway's obviously geographically big, but even a country like Norway that is not been a major player ever, right? In the sphere of Europe, they certainly have interesting moments, and they certainly because think about even World War II, for instance, and they certainly are, and then we have a lot of records and stuff, and they're definitely fairly well known about. So, in the nation of France, okay, I will join, but not because I want France to conquer things. I will join because I want to stop them from getting things, actually. I have no opinions on... In general, I don't like to say if unions or historical rulerships were good or bad, because I don't think... I think it often just leads to too political conversations, and people being like, well, it basically it becomes very political and obviously supports certain viewpoints, right? For instance, the idea that nowadays Crusaders have been co-opted by lots of far right extremist groups. At least here in the U.S., I know that's a thing, and that's kind of I'm like why also, but also that's fucking stupid. And and I'm like, I like learning about the Crusades. I like the idea of Crusaders from a purely historical standpoint. But the moment that people, anyone, and this is regard to any subject, because I've even my mom is an educated person. She's very smart, but I've told her I didn't really like something she was saying when she was using the Crusades to talk about a religious thing today, right? And so I just do not like the idea that people co-opt history to use as reasoning for modern situations, contemporary situations, right? Because everything is completely different today, and everything has been different in every time period to some extent. So there are universal truths, obviously, and sure, there's the idea that history repeats itself, and I think that it has some merit. But at the same time, I don't think that history should ever. I mean, people are gonna do it, but I really don't like when people co-opt history to support a political argument. I think that is very annoying, and I will, I will probably, you know, I don't know. It just really turns me off. Let's just say it like that. So with stuff like United Scandinavia, obviously, if you're Scandinavian, I assume you probably have more of an opinion about that. If you're Danish or Swedish or Norwegian or Icelandic even or Finnish, you probably have different opinions about unified Scandinavia and the Danish crown and stuff. We do have unique ideas. We have some. So yeah, Rhineland is interesting. Since we started as Hesse. And since we started as Hesse, we actually have like a militarized monarchy, but most of the Rhinish missions and ideas seem to focus on more the economical side. Merchants, caravan power, development cost stuff, but there is national manpower modifier and stuff like that, so anyways, obviously what was I gonna say? There's obviously, if you're from a place, I think you have more of a right to make comparisons, but that's why I don't agree with people like if you're Norwegian, I don't think it's unfair to have opinions about subjugation from either Sweden or Denmark or whatever, right? But I don't. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I don't think that that's it. Kind of fits though, right? Like I think it's fine if you are from a country and that country has a history of oppression from a different country, for instance. I think that's fine to have opinions about that, and you can use that as a political basis because it literally has happened to your country and your ancestors. But if you're like talking about the fucking Crusades, right? It's so far removed. I don't really like to get into a lot of political issues, but lots of times the people who use political issues, or who politicize the Crusades, are basically like anti-Islamic far right people, like Christian groups who are like, we need to basically just like conquer the Holy Land again. Obviously that's a little different now with Israel, but like, they're basically like, we need to like boot out all Muslims from the world. And regardless of the actual historical Crusades, it's so far removed today, and the parties are so different. The ideologies are so different that I find it very almost like even offensive to try to say that the same thing applies today, right? So yeah. Alright, let's look at this real quick. Number of states. So these are normal ones, but then tolerance of heretics and heathens is not really that important, not that good. Constitutionalism and national unrest, yearly legitimacy, maximum absolutism. That's good, but I also don't. I don't know. How many states do we have right now? That's the thing, right? The states one is almost always in my opinion, better, but we only have 14 states, and all of Germany is really not that many states. If we end up conquering France, right? Maybe, but and England, but I don't think that it's really, well. There's a lot of good states, and eventually. What do you guys think? National unrest, autonomies, number of states. I think number of states is still good because eventually we're gonna run out if we keep going. I think number of states is good, yeah. Even though it's not good right now, that's the one I almost always do, like 90% of the time. Yeah, actually, I don't think I've ever done. No, I think I've done the minimum autonomy once when I was doing like a Coptiman's world conquest attempt, and I had just so much land that I had so many more states and territories. But yeah, in general, it's almost never going to be a good choice. So like obviously that's the thing. I really like. I'm reading some of the stuff in chat. Sorry. I think I really like learning about the Crusades. Don't get me wrong. I think the Crusades are really interesting, and I'll admit like I'm like like, oh shit, those Crusaders were like they look so cool in their armor, right? Like I feel that. I just don't think that they should. I think it should be seen more like the way people see the Vikings, right? People aren't saying that Norway should fucking invade the coast of Britain and France and Ireland and murder a bunch of people nowadays, right? But people still love the Vikings, and I do too, right? And that's how I look at it, right? There's yeah, you would love that, Luke Sparrow. Yeah, but I'm not sure the world at large would. Because the Crusades are like in general just a military conflict, and in general, that's something I don't agree with. Is the almost, you could even say, like the fetishization of military history, and I'm guilty of this. I love military history, as do most like history nerds, or lots of history nerds. But I don't think it's always. I don't think it should have. I think it's fun as something to learn about, as a topic to discuss even. And I think it's fair to put it in context of modern conversations, but I don't think you should idealize it and use it as support for like what we should do with our future. Maybe as an example of what not to do, right? But I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm obviously being very rambly, and I haven't really thought about this in depth. Although, I mean, it's just kind of something I think about in general. But yeah, like, so, with the example of the Crusades, I don't think, part of it is I think with stuff that's less far removed, it's less bad to do this. Because if it's something about World War II, right, if you're talking about World War II and its relevance, that's much more relevant. The world is much more similar between World War II and now than the fucking 1100s and now, right? So, like, but I don't think that, in general, it's good to look at the Crusades, where literally, people's entire mindsets about the way the world was, or rather, is, I guess. But the thoughts about the way the world was, the people's ideologies back then were much, much, much different. Exactly, the ideologies are so far removed, right? And I think that's the main thing, is trying to co-opt like an ancient, or not an ancient, but a far removed ideology in the name of a modern ideology is something I don't think. That's what I have a problem with. If you're talking about something that happened 100 years ago, I think that's, and using it to support not doing something now or whatever, I think that's fine. For instance, like, here's something, I'll actually get slightly political for a second. I hope there's not any... Oh, it happened. Never seen this, obviously, but that's a cool flag. Something like I do have fairly strong opinions on it. And I'm not even going to get into my personal strong opinions. By the way, I'm not going to get into my personal opinions here. I'm just merely going to state some opinions that do exist, right? I think we were basically saying that these forts were good. I don't remember. I'll go through and look again eventually, but for now, I think these forts are all fine. Yeah, we're paused. Zapadoslavia. They do have the Day of East still. You haven't succeeded. Day of East. Oh. I don't think there's a way to see what missions they have. Let's look at their ideas, though. National Manpower Modifier, Max Cultures. That's pretty good. Hussite Legacy. Negative religious tolerance no longer gives any penalties? Holy shit, that's amazing. I mean, it's actually probably not that great, because it's like, it's mostly just heretics, which normally aren't that bad anyways, but still. Basically means you never have to do that. I could tax, but I'm lazy. I'm not going to do that. The penalty to the not applying to religious unity, now that is really amazing. The other one's probably, the tolerance is probably not as good, but it's still obviously good. Land fire damage is really good. Military tech cost really good. Development cost really good. Legitimacy, ID cost, amazing. Diplomatic reputation is good. Number of states and land force modifier is going to be really good if you play them well. Obviously, I'm not playing them, and they're not doing so well, but... and then discipline is for their ambition. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, the idea is basically they unite their culture. That's cool. I like that. Anyhow, so I was going to give the example, like an example where I think it is fair to use history to support an argument. Is in, again, you might not agree with the argument, that's fine, but at least one where I don't really, and I'm not going to say I necessarily agree or disagree with this, but in the case of like Catalonia today in Spain, right? A lot of arguments around a lot of the problem that a lot of Catalan people have with the Spanish government is in large part in relation to how Catalonia was treated after the Spanish Civil War and during the dictatorship of Franco, right? Basically Catalan language was completely suppressed for dozens and dozens of years, right? And that's recent in the mind of the Catalan people and is relevant today still. And I think that's fine. I don't think that's I don't see any problem with using that, because that's not even necessarily, history. I mean, obviously it's history, but you get what I mean, right? It's like, that's still, the effects of that are still felt today, in terms of Catalan literacy, the memories of people who lived through that even. There are plenty of older people in Catalonia and in Spain in general who remember the dictatorship. Unfortunately, some who remember it fondly. Yeah, that's just that's one example where it's like it's very relevant today, and that's not, and the ideologies, that's the thing, right? The ideologies obviously still exist on both sides, seeing as there's Francoists today, and seeing as there were independentists. Oh God, there were independent supporters back then and today who have fairly similar views. So that's, we don't have to keep talking about this. I know this is very, like, I don't know, haughty. I can never say that word in a way that sounds satisfying. I know this is very, you could even call this pretentious, like, to talk about this, but I think it's interesting, and it's more based in just my experience with people, like with the Crusades example, right? People basically just using shit to support political shit that I find reprehensible. So, anyways, but you wrote your history exam in university on Norwegian farming techniques. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I think that's what a lot of people. Yes, I've never encountered a Francoist either. I've been to Spain. I've only been to Spain once, but it was for several months. I've lived in Spain several months, and no, I agree. Definitely, Francoism is not like a predominant belief. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that, but there are Francoists in Spain. There's probably about as many Francoists in Spain as there are neo-Nazis in America. And I don't mean like just calling someone neo-Nazi. I mean like an actual neo-Nazi, right? Yeah. I loved Spain when I was there. I didn't think it was boring, but I mean, it's a bit different. Like, I mean, it's not really like it's not like mind-blowingly good every moment. Obviously, it's just, living anywhere is not going to be all ups, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. Where does Venice even exist? Crete? Okay. I don't have any colonies. Actually, we should look into buying that before we go to war with anyone. Yeah, you can draw parallels too, but like what I don't think is completely, you know, I get, yeah, but in the American Revolution, I think is not even that far removed as we think it is necessarily. I think when you go past 200, 300 years-ish, right? When you go past a couple hundred years, it becomes like very. I think it becomes harder, right? Because like think about it like this. I think where I draw the line is before like the Enlightenment period and the scientific revolution, right? Is where I draw the line, because that is really where the ideologies of the Western world come from. That, right? The dominating ideologies of the Western world, of Napoleon's France, and of Marxism is sort of a response to it, and then everything else, all the ideologies that have come like from the 1700s and beyond are sort of a product of Western thinking, largely as a result of the scientific revolution, right? And so that's why I sort of think that I think if you're comparing stuff to, the American Revolution, I still don't think it's proper to appropriate all the same conflicts. Obviously, the conflict between Britain and America was somewhat more, is a lot bit different than the conflict between the American people and the American government, if you could call it a conflict, right? But in I think it's fair to make more parallels there, as opposed to the Crusades, which are so far removed, especially in America, so far removed from us culturally, religiously, linguistically,